No real head either, and that's a sign of a bad date. And welcome to the beer garden in front of the fireless pit with the V's in view. And hey, real quick, if you're here because you like beer, and let's be honest, why else would you be here? Please tap that subscribe button down below because I have low self-esteem and reinforcement from strangers on the internet makes me feel a lot better about myself. And it helps with the algorithm, let's be honest. All right, also, town and state or town and country where you are viewing from. I love reading where my viewers are viewing from, so town and state or town and country in the comments below. I want to give a shout out to Pittsburgh, PA, checking out Beer Snob's Cheap Brew Review. Ottawa, Canada, going international. Omaha, Nebraska, Memphis, Tennessee, and Marathon Key, Florida. Glad to have you along. Ring that bell. And up this round is Shiner Light Blonde. All right, a lot of Shiner fans out of Texas love their Shiner Bock. That's pretty much their flagship beer, Shiner Bock. Pretty good beer. Check out my brew review after this one. Finish watching this first and then check out my review for Shiner Bock. Never had Shiner Light before. It came in a 12-pack of Shiner sampler pack. It was around 13-14 bucks for a 12-pack, so hey. And besides the Shiner Bock, I had never had any of the other Shiner beers. 4.2% alcohol, 99 calories. It says Texas Craft on it. Is it a Texas Craft beer? You who drink a lot of Shiner, tell me. 4.2% alcohol, I said that. So I'm not a big fan of light beers usually. That's a sign of a cheap beer for me if it says light on it. And we're drinking it straight out of the can, pouring it into the green label Beer Snob's Cheap Brew Review pint glass to be complemented by the painted leather Richardson's trucker cap. Let's go ahead and pop the top, see what we got. Nice crisp, don't mess with Texas opening. For the pour, it is a blonde, and I always like me a good blonde. I actually only dated one blonde ever in my extensive dating resume. She was like the first true girlfriend I had in high school. She was a year or two older than me. Her name is Tammy, and blonde hair, blue eyes. She was into me, and I was too immature at the time, and I really didn't appreciate the relationship. But we dated as much as you can in like freshman in high school. So anyway, back to the beer. Shiner Light Blonde. Let's see if we can pull some notes out of this. Shiner, is it a craft brewery or is it macro now? I mean, they're churning out a lot of beer. Please let me know, you folks in Texas, in Shiner, Texas. Not a whole lot there. I'm nosing out about as much as you can see right there. And of course, in the beer garden, you never drink alone. I apologize for the harsh lighting, but it's late in the afternoon, and hey, this is what we got. Can't afford proper studio lighting. We're here in the beer garden, so this is what we get. I'm getting sort of notes of a Corona, that kind of a cheap sort of a Mexican beer. It's not Mexico, it's Texas, Tex-Mex beer. But that's what I'm getting. I hear that Shiner also has a Mexican style beer. I don't know how that could be really much any difference than the Shiner Light, but the faintest of grains, really no malt to speak of, nothing offensive, no odor really, so that's kind of good to hear. No real head either, and that's a sign of a bad date, and not necessarily a tremendous beer, but hey, what can you do? All right. Time for the liquid to hit the lips, and of course, you never drink alone in the beer garden, so grab something to drink, and let me know what you're drinking down below. Also, town and state, town and country, where you are watching from. Prost! Well, truth in advertising, it is light, very light, and at 4.2%. You know, that's a session beer. That's an all-day, all-nighter, really. So you should be able to get a nice little social buzz going on and yet be able to function like a responsible human being. after about 4, 5, 10 of these. A very, very slight citrus taste. I don't know if I'm just making that up in my head, but I was getting maybe a little bit of a lemon out of it. Again, I just maybe in my head. But very, very light. Not a whole lot of flavor other than that little bit of a lemon thing. Now that it's hitting the back of my tongue, I'm getting something. That's what she said. Is a slight bit of that cheap beer fuzziness, but not bad. Not bad. Not like a bunch of other cheap beers you get. Overall, decent mouthfeel. It's a light beer. Show the can again, they say. Shiner, which side of the can do you prefer? That one or that one? This one you can read better. If you like Shiner, I think you're gonna like this. At 99 calories, I don't know. I would maybe suck up another 20 calories and have a Guinness, but that's not a light blonde, is it? Guinness, no. Out of 5 stars, what am I gonna give Shiner Light Blonde? It being a good, cheap brew. And again, it is relatively cheap. Again, I got this in a 12-pack. It was 13, 14 bucks, I guess. It was all right, but it says light on the can, so that's the sign of a cheap beer. I'm gonna give you that score out of 5 stars in just a second. Let me know what you think of Shiner Light. I would be interested to have this on tap. I think that would make a big difference. It's okay. It's rather unremarkable. It's about as exciting as it looks in the glass, but it's not bad. With that being said, is a phrase, a cliche I hate to use because it's so overused, but I just used it. Out of 5 stars, 5 being a good, cheap brew, it's not bad. Is it good? It's unremarkable. So, being so unremarkable, I'm just looking for some type of a taste. Something I was like, boy, I'd really love to have another one of those. And it just being cold is not good enough because you can get any beer cold. So, out of 5 stars, 5 being a very good, cheap brew, I'm going to give Shiner Light Blonde, 99 calories, 4.2% alcohol. I'm going to have to ring you up at about a 1.9 out of 5 stars. Let the hate comments begin below. And it's not because it's bad. Again, I don't want to say it's bad, but there's just not a whole lot to it. It's a Honda Accord of beer. You're just like, okay. Could you describe it? No, not really. So there you go. Town and state, town and country, where you're watching from. I appreciate your view, sub, and support. Go ahead and check out my other over 220 brew reviews to date, including the Shiner Bock. I'll put a post at the end of this for the Shiner Bock video, and let me know what you think. So, hey, again, it's a beautiful day here in the beer garden in front of the fireless pit in the Wiesen View, and so grab yourself a brew and you drink that brew, and I will see you in the next Beer Snob's Cheap Brew review right after this. Cheers.